Hi everyone. Okay, so introduce myself. My name is Pia, and this is my family. We're the last time we went on a picnic. Uh, I wish we could go on a picnic again, but the COVID is pretty bad right now. But I'm 30. Gosh, I'm 38. I live in Metro Manila. I have two kids. And I work in a data science company, which is why I'm part of ClimateAction.tech, because I think tech has a role to play in the climate crisis. So this is my family, and I live here in Metro Manila. So for those who are not from the Philippines, well, the Philippines is an island nation in Southeast Asia. It's I think like a low middle income country, and I live right in the most populated area of the country. So it's like one of the most densely populated cities in the world. 13 million people. I think it's bigger than several European countries, probably. Um, yeah, and what is the climate impact I want to talk about today? So, this is a picture literally from 5 hours ago. This is my daughter and my son. And in this picture, you can see they're holding two small electric fans, battery powered electric fans that they have pointed at themselves because we experienced a brownout, a power outage. So for those who are in Manila, you know that we've been having rotating brownouts for the past 2 days. So no power. And I have kids and they want to keep cool, right? So we had to have these battery powered electric fans pointed at them so they don't overheat. And why is there a power outage? What does this have to do with climate? The reason why there have been power outages is because of insufficient power supply in the grid. So a lot of people are using electricity right now, and I am included in that group of people who is using a lot of electricity. And this is the main reason why a lot of people are using electricity right now. Air conditioning. Please just raise your hand if you've been using a lot more air conditioning lately than if you're from the Philippines and you've been using a lot more air conditioning than you usually do. Air conditioning, it's expensive to have here. It consumes a lot of energy. But for the past 2 weeks, I think we've been running our air conditioner maybe I think twice as long as we usually do, 12 hours a day, 13 hours a day, um, because it is really, 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 really hot. It is really, really hot right now in the Philippines. This is a bulletin from our National Weather Service from yesterday. Um, Citing the temperature, the heat index for, I think, several different locations around the country. And of the different cities that they're monitoring, 20 of those were in the danger zone of heat index. So, what's the danger zone? That's the temperature there is between 41, it feels like 41 to 54 degrees Celsius, which is very, very, very hot. And this can result, it's dangerous because it can result in heat cramps, exhaustion, and heat stroke. The hottest place in the country yesterday was 53 degrees Celsius, which is crazy. I don't even know how you could survive 53 degrees, but in a place called Dagupan. Um, oh no, sorry, this was May 14th. So I think that's the highest recorded in the past month. So it's very, very hot. Lots of people are complaining about it, talking about it. Um, and like personally, me in my house, how has that affected us? Yesterday my child left crayons in a plastic cup in our garden area, and she came back after an hour and they had melted into a tiny disc. So wow, she has now a magical rainbow crayon, which is cute, but it's too hot. It's a cute little side effect, but it's really just too hot. But how it affects us is we can't really move around too much. We have to stay in one room most of the day because that's where the air conditioning is on. It's really hard to be productive if it's too hot. Like I find myself um, distracted and I feel like I just want to sleep. I want to take a shower all the time. So it's just very uncomfortable. And a part of the reason for that is because of the urban heat island effect. So this is a picture of our city, Metro Manila. If you can see, there aren't too many green spaces. It's all covered with concrete and buildings. And here's a map of our city where you can see the green spaces are just so few. Most of the city has been covered over in built up areas. I think some of the only green spaces left are for very wealthy people. Golf courses, lots of golf courses. I think actually that might be one of the few, some of the few places that are still green, unfortunately. So it creates an effect where the heat is even more intense because there's no green to to provide shade. And you know, it like I showed a rainbow, melted rainbow crayon, which is cute, but really it's not so cute, right? Hotter days are there's a lot of negative impacts, like really serious impacts associated with heat, like increased aggression. I've read studies that when it's hotter, there's actually more violent conflict between people, and it can, you know, it can result in violence. Actually, just the other day, I had a fight with my husband, and I just realized while I was making this presentation, maybe we fought because it's really too hot. Maybe that's one factor that could have caused that. Another thing is decreased productivity. So, like I mentioned, if it's really hot, you feel like you have less energy. There have been studies showing that productivity can drop by like as much as 4% for every degree hotter than 27 degrees. And of course, the health impacts. You really have to protect yourself from heat cramps, heat stroke. And I think we all know that's why we're here. We know that the climate crisis is just going to make this worse. I mean, I keep seeing these very frightening articles in the news about how the tropical regions are going to become more and more uninhabitable over the years. And you know, as somebody with two kids who are going to live here for a much longer time than I am, I worry about this. So I think we have to do something about it. And I recognize also that the heat impacts will not be felt equally. So these are two pictures of two different places in the city. This one is the central business district, where it's right like next to a pretty golf course, and they have trees there, and they have buildings with air conditioning and insulation. But much bigger parts of the city live like this, which is they live in informal housing with corrugated tin roofs. Can you just imagine how hot it is if and they don't have air conditioning there at all? I'm lucky enough that I can have an aircon. I can afford the bills, even if they're expensive, they're painful, I will pay it. But if you don't have that, I don't know how you would cope. And some people, and lots of people have to work outside, right? I can work in the confines of my house, but some people have to go out. Farmers have to go out. They have to work. Gojek drivers, right, Andrew? They got to go out there and deliver our food to us, our the lucky people in offices. So it's not going to be equal. And just because like today, like the topic today is kind of heavy, you know, talking about impacts, I just wanted to also think about some of the solutions that are out there for extreme heat. So like, how can we think about designing buildings better so that it can be cooler? It doesn't have a lot of buildings are not really designed for the tropics. How can we increase green spaces? How can we think about low cost, low energy cooling for the developing world? Like I was listening to a podcast the other day on eco business, which is a really great publication about sustainability in Southeast Asia. And they were talking about how like the technology behind air conditioning is very old. It hasn't progressed that much in the past 15 years, 10 years or so. So can there be a breakthrough there that we can have people in informal communities, informal settlements? Can they have cooler air inside their homes also? I don't know. And then just the energy system as well. This is for resilience. Let's accept that it's going to get hot and people are going to use aircon at least until something better comes along. So how can we reduce the impact as well of our air conditioning? Can we have a more flexible grid? Can we have solar panels on our roofs? I mean, if it's so hot, right? That's sunlight, you know, like sunlight, it makes us hot, but it should also be able to power our air cons. It should, so those are just things that I hope to figure out as a as a community. Yeah, that's my share.